Welcome to the analysis of Civil Services 2015 Mock 7 Paper 2. This paper contains some 10 passages and we will be discussing some of the important passages and the difficult ones. Apart from that, this paper has some questions on decision making and syllogisms as well. So we'll be taking up that as well. Let us begin discussing passage 1 of the paper, which has 3 questions. This passage is about SEBI proposing new norms to regulate research analysts while restricting research services offered by foreign entities without getting registered in India. So basically the first paragraph tells us that SEBI has proposed new norms in order to regulate research analysts and at the same time putting restrictions on research services which are offered by foreign entities who work without getting registered in India. So these research analysts are those who provide their independent reports on stocks and listed companies, and SEBI wants to regulate it. The second paragraph then tells us that those to be regulated through new norms include, so basically it is telling us who will come under this regulation, who all will come under this regulation of by SEBI. They will be the independent research analyst, intermediaries that employ research analysts and issues research reports, as also research analysts giving recommendations in public media such as TV channels, newspapers and websites. As per the proposed norms, an entity incorporated outside India willing to provide research services in respect of Indian companies will have to set up a subsidiary in India and make an application for registration through that subsidiary. So this particular line tells us that the entities which are incorporated outside India and those who are willing to provide research services in respect of Indian companies, they will have to set up a subsidiary in India and then make an application for registration through that subsidiary. Apart from that, as per the detailed draft guidelines issued by SEBI for research analysts, no person shall act as a research analyst or hold itself out as a research analyst unless he has obtained a certificate of registration. So basically obtaining a certificate of registration is what is important now. Further, the final paragraph tells us the guidelines have come against the backdrop of various cases of foreign entities coming out with research reports on India, resulting in huge fall in share prices here. So why SEBI has decided to regulate these independent reports and research analysts and research services offered by foreign entities? The reason is given in the final paragraph. So the basic backdrop is that various cases has come with research reports on India resulting in huge fall in share prices here. The new norm suggests that investment advisors, asset management companies, proxy advisory service providers, fund managers of alternative investment funds engaged in research services to their unit holders would not come under the ambit of these regulations. So this particular line these two lines over here, this particular last line in fact over here tells us who will not come under the ambit of this regulation, as contrary to this paragraph which told us that all of these people will come under the regulation. So let us have a look at the questions. The first question is about the central idea of the passage. So central idea of the passage is basically the overall idea of the passage, the main idea that the author of the passage is trying to convey. The second question is about two particular statements. So we'll have to go back to the passage and find that particular information and then answer these questions. And the third question is again asking you about a particular information. There is a need for new regulatory norms in order to. So why there is a need of new regulatory norms? This is what this question is trying to ask. Let us get back to the central idea of the passage. Governing the activities of research analyst, procedure to register for independent research on stocks, market analyst working in India, role of foreign market analyst in India. Well, if you look at option D here, it says role of foreign market analyst in India. This role has not been very elaborately discussed in the passage. Moreover, this is also not the central idea of the passage. The passage is only trying to tell us that SEBI has proposed certain norms in order to regulate the research analyst as well as the research services offered by foreign entities. The role of foreign market analyst as such is not discussed in the passage. We are only told that we just a little information about the how these guidelines have come into view has because of the backdrop of various foreign entities who have uh, in the past have come up with research reports in India. So that's only a little bit role discussed in the which is there in the last paragraph. Market analyst working in India. Well, this is very general in nature. Market analysts, these can be research analysts, these can be other market analysts as well. Moreover, this is not the central idea of the passage. The central idea is very clearly mentioned in option A, which says governing the activities of research analyst, which is, and the whole passage talks about this, that SEBI wants to regulate the research analysts who are working through different portals. Procedure to register for independent research on stocks. The procedure is only told as a part of the regulation. It is not the central idea of the passage. So definitely this is not the answer. So the correct answer is option A. Consider the following statements. The new norms introduced by SEBI will discourage foreign entities to provide research services in India. Will these new norms discourage foreign entities to provide research services in India? Well, the passage here tells us that SEBI will require now these foreign entities to set up a subsidiary here and make an application for registration through that subsidiary. This is the only information that we are given. So can we interpret from this that this will discourage foreign entities to provide research services in India? It can be yes, it can be no. So this cannot be a correct statement. We cannot say that it will definitely discourage foreign entities to provide research and services in India. So definitely this is an incorrect statement. Independent reports by research analysts may affect the share prices of a company. Well, if you go back to the last paragraph, it says here that the guidelines have come against the backdrop of various cases of foreign entities coming out with research reports on India, which are obviously independent research reports. We were already told this here, resulting in huge fall in share prices here. So that means independent reports by research analysts can affect the share prices of a company. It has a possibility to affect the share prices of a company. Therefore, statement 2 is definitely correct. Thus, the answer will be option B. According to the passage, there is a need for new regulatory norms in order to. So why there is a need for new regulatory norms? We have already discussed this, that the final paragraph tells us that why there is a need of these regulatory norms. It is because of this this particular line tells us because of this. So let us see where this is mentioned in these options. Regulate research analysts who make recommendations on public platform. Govern analysts who provide research services in respect of Indian companies without getting themselves registered for the same. Put a check on independent research analysts as well as investment advisors who provide research services to unit holders. Well, here option 1 says regulate research analysts who make recommendations on public platform. This is also very clearly mentioned here that those to be regulated through new norms include research analysts giving recommendations in the public media. So as per the line that we just read, statement 1 is definitely correct, that the regulatory norms want to regulate research analysts who make recommendations on public platforms such as TV, etc. Govern analysts who provide research services in respect of Indian companies without getting themselves registered for the same. Definitely this is a correct option. You can go back to the passage and check this. It says, as per the proposed norms, an entity incorporated outside India willing to provide research services in respect of Indian companies will have to set up a subsidiary in India. So in some way it is trying to regulate it, even if it is by asking them to set up a subsidiary, etc. So this is also correct. Put a check on independent research analysts as well as investment advisors who provide research services to unit holders. Well, this is an incorrect statement because although it wants to put a check on independent research analysts, investment advisors who provide research services to unit holders do not fall under the ambit of these new regulations, and this is very clearly mentioned here. It says investment advisors, asset management companies, proxy advisory service providers and fund managers engaged in research services to their unit holders would not come under the ambit of these regulations. So third is an incorrect statement, therefore the answer will be option C.